I made a post earlier this week and it got mixed reviews from my soul sisters on here. And so I would really like to talk about it. The synopsis of the sound was that our children's happiness is very much based in our happiness as their mothers. First thing, it said the number one predictor. And I dug into the sound and I tried to find statistics that actually backed that stat, and I can't find it. But the basis of the message is still applicable, which is why I shared the sound. When I listened to the sound, it deeply resonated with me because there was a chapter in my life where I was so low. I was functioning as a single mom with a very full plate, and I was very much focused on my children's stability and happiness, and I wasn't investing in my happiness at all because, there's budgeting constraints and there are time constraints and there's energy constraints because we're carrying the weight of the world. And I was not prioritizing my happiness or my healing. What helped me shift that mindset is that I gave myself permission to begin investing in my happiness because I realized that it would benefit my kids. I didn't have the energy to prioritize myself for me, but if it was going to benefit my kids, you better believe I started to dig in, looking for appropriate resources, looking for appropriate contacts. So the concept that moms that have PTSD, depression, anxiety, trauma, that does not mean that our kids are doomed to be unhappy and to not function well as adults. It means that these things that impact us also impact them. That's not to shame us. It is just a fact, right? If we're carrying around trauma, depression, anxiety, PTSD, it wears on us. And so, of course, our children, who we're the center of their gravity, we're the center of their universe as their moms, of course, that's going to be reflected onto them. But that's not the end of the story. And that's not where the concept of the video that I posted stops. And some women are so deeply offended by the sound because they heard that and then they stopped listening. So the feedback from a lot of women is, great, another thing to be ashamed of, great, something else on my plate, great, my kids are doomed, thanks for making me feel bad. I don't interpret that message to mean that. What I interpreted the message to mean is we can give ourselves permission to prioritize ourselves. And if you don't have the energy to do it for yourself, you can do it for your kid. It's not saying that we have to be perfect. It's not saying that we have to be without trauma and anxiety and PTSD and depression and life, right? Because life happens. It's saying that we can give ourselves permission to prioritize our healing and our happiness. And if we aren't able to do it for ourselves, we can do it for our kids. That's the take-home point of the message.